Hi, my name is Josh Moore, and I'm going to be discussing the Roman numeral system of numeration. I've chosen this system due to the fact that it's the most commonly run into number system that we run into here in the U.S., other than our standard of the Hindu-Arabic system that we use on a daily basis. Um, to understand the Roman numeral system, we first must understand that the Romans dictated 7 capital letters to, um, to each of which they assigned a given value. The capital letter I is equivalent to 1, V to 5, X to 10, L to 50, C to 100, D to 500, and M is to 1000. Once we memorize this, it's all, well, we have to submit this to memory. There's no real, it's not a one-to-one ratio that most number systems have. So now that we understand that we have 7 different letters equivalent to 7 different values, we must follow a set of rules of combining these symbols in order to achieve the given value that we're looking for. So that being said, rule number 1 would be, if you have a letter of lesser value preceding a number of greater value, then you would subtract it. So let's use a 1 or an I and an X. So this gives us a value of 1 preceding a value of 10, telling us that we must subtract, giving us a value of 9. That's one rule that we must know. A second rule that we want to know is that if we have a letter that follows a letter of greater value, then we must add. So if we have an L with a value of 50, and we have a following V with a value of 5, we would add, giving us a value of 55. So far, simple enough. If we have 2 or more letters that are the same, we simply add them together. L, L, L gives us 50, 50, 50 for a total of 150. All right. Okay. So now we can move on to, say, if we have a V, an L, and a D. If we have 2 letters of greater value with a letter of lesser value in the middle, we take the sum of the 2 greater values, giving us 1000, and subtract the value of the lesser letter, 50, giving us 950. Okay? So once we understand these 4 basic rules, we can then create any value we want. I have a couple examples here. If we wanted to show our year, so this year is 2013. So in order to do so, we need 2000, M, 2 letters preceding, or in a series, matching together, we add them together, giving us 2000, 13, and X, followed by 3 ones, which gives us a 13, 2013. Let's go ahead and do one for the year I was born, 1979. So, now we're going to have to do something a little different. 1979, we can't get to 1900. Well, I suppose we could, but a quicker way would be to subtract from a 2000. So subtracting from a 2000, we would do m, and an m would give us 2000, but if we place a letter of lesser value between the two, we can subtract that. So let's go ahead and subtract a 100 from 2000, giving us 1900. Now we need to come up with 79. So in order to do this, we can start with a C. Wait a minute, this is not working. I'm sorry. An L. We'll start with an L. We don't want to subtract anymore. We can just add up from 50, 60, 75, and 4. So we're doing L gives us 50. X gives us 20. And now we can do a 1 or an I prior to an X equal to 9. So now we have 1900, 50 plus 20 plus 9 is 79, giving us 1979. All right. Now, as you can see, I'm a Steelers fan. The last Super Bowl that the Steelers won was in Super Bowl 43. So we'll do Super Bowl 43. Now, any sports fans would know that Super Bowls are usually dictated in Roman numerals. So if we had a Super Bowl 43 and we wanted to represent that with Roman numerals, we could start with a 50. We wanted to subtract a 10 to give us 40, and add 3 to that. In Roman numeral terms, start with your 50, you have your L, subtract 10, placing the lesser value in front of the greater value would be subtracting. So there's 50 minus 10 giving us our 40, and then 3 consecutive I's accounts for 3. So Super Bowl 43, Steelers won their 6th championship. Okay, I hope that clears